Hello and welcome to Easy Projects. So today I'm going to open a few mail items. These two I ordered myself and they'll be used in a future project. But this one was sent in by a very kind viewer and we'll start by opening that. It's sent in by Matthew Pristine and I kind of know what's in it, but not exactly, so I'm excited to see what it is. It looks like FedEx kicked it around pretty good, but I'm sure it survived anyway. So I didn't quite expect this much to be in the box, but we'll see what Matthew sent in. What's this? Oh, that's a... he sent a Beaglebone Green. I've actually been wanting to get one of these. I have one of the Beaglebone Blacks and so far I like it a lot, so that's very cool, man. But you totally didn't have to do this. What's this? So it looks like we got an ST Micro development board kit. Development boards and kit, it says. An ARM processor. We'll take a closer look at all these items, of course. Oh, this looks like what he told me in the email. So we have a lattice semiconductor, Mark X02, programmable logic IC development kit. And what's this? Oh, and he sent in the Mark X03L as well. Matthew told me he was going to send one of these boards, so I didn't expect all this to show up. So what should we start with? Let's pick the ST Micro development board. Oh, that's a nice white solder mask with a blue silk screen on it. So it looks like it's a 180 MHz ARM Cortex M4 processor, 512 kilobytes of flash, 128 kilobytes of SRAM, some extension connectors, and it has a built-in debugger. That's very handy in programming. Oh, and it's mbed enabled. I have an mbed LPC 4088 actually that uses the same ARM Cortex M4 core architecture. But that one is an NXP chip, but I guess it's kind of the same when it's the same core, I guess. So here it is out of the box. It looks like we have a user push button and probably a RGB LED that we can play around with. And then we have the I/O connectors, and they're actually going right through the board, so they are accessible on both sides. That's a nice touch. So thank you very much, Matthew. I'll make sure to use this in a project where we need a powerful processor. And it's 32 bits, by the way. I think I forgot to mention that. Oops. So here we have the Beaglebone Green and a tiny little USB cable. And here we have it. It's a nice matte green solder mask that looks pretty nice actually. So here's the slot for the micro SD. We have the USB connector, a host USB, Ethernet, then we have some RAM and the main processor. And the processor is a 1 GHz ARM Cortex A8. It has 4 GB of onboard flash. And for those of you who don't know a BeagleBone, it's more of a computer than it is a microcontroller actually. It runs embedded Linux and you can hook it up to the network. You can access it through SSH and you can run programs, and it's a very powerful little beast. You can compare it to the Raspberry Pi if you know that. It's kind of the same concept. Thanks Matthew, I'll definitely use this a lot, I can tell you already. And here we have the Lattice Mark XO3L starter kit. So these are FPGA development boards by Lattice. And Matthew sent me a link to these when I did the first videos of the VHDL and FPGA series. And I hadn't actually heard about these before, so it looks like you get a lot for your money, and they're not as expensive as the Xilinx and the Altera boards. But the FPGA is not quite as powerful, but I'm sure it's good for a lot of uses. Taking into account that I've only filled up my Altera 10% or thereabout. So here we have it. So the smart thing about these FPGAs from Lattice is that they have a lot of the surrounding stuff that you need built into the FPGA, like the flash memory for instance. So you actually just need the FPGA chip itself. This FTDI chip is just to communicate with the computer, and you didn't necessarily have to have this on the board. You could have it in a separate programmer, but in this case it makes it convenient to have it on the board, of course. Looking at the regulators here, it looks like we only need a 1.2 and a 3.3 volt supply, but don't quote me on that, I haven't looked into that yet. So this is a very nice board also, and I'll make sure to take a closer look at this in the FPGA series. So this is the Mark XO2 board. It looks pretty much identical, but you can see the chip is in a quad flat pack, whereas this one is a BGA device. So if you want to use any of them for homemade boards, it should probably be this one, because you can in fact solder this with a soldering iron if you are a bit careful. This one you will need hot air, and I don't think you're getting good results unless you have a soldering oven. So, well, it might be possible to do it by hand with a hot air gun, but yeah, that's up to you. On the Mark O2 board here we got some LEDs, it looks like, we can play around with. And on the O3 we have a dip switch as well, and also the LEDs. And also a tiny push button. So, thank you very much, Matthew, and again you totally didn't have to send all this, but I appreciate it very much, and I can promise you I'll use this a lot. So there was probably enough in Matthew's box for this video, but I didn't expect all that, so I included these two that I ordered myself also, but I can promise you that will not be as exciting. Oh, it's in a nice box also. And it's imported directly from China, so it's not always you get a nice cardboard box. Sometimes they just throw it in some bubble wrap and ship it halfway around the globe. So this is a 600 watt boost converter that I need for a future project, and I hope to get the rest of the parts in very soon so I can get started with that. I don't remember the exact specs, but it can deliver up to 10 amps and it can step up a voltage from, I think it's 12 to 48 volts or something, up to and then output up to 90 volts, I think. Again, I'm not sure, but I'll get the correct information for the project video. And you probably guessed it, the other package is exactly the same. So if you enjoyed seeing me open these mail items, please give the video a thumbs up. And thanks a lot for watching the video. Now I just need to find the time to play around with all this stuff. That'll be exciting. So, see you in the next one.